I'm DEITY from the UK, and this is my shout out to Beatbox Germany. I control the storm, some take me higher than I've ever been. Whoa, I don't mind it, do my skin. Whoa, my desire, you're my everything. Whoa, I don't mind it, mind it, mind it. I've been taken for my I've been taken for my waiting for my waiting for my praying take me higher than I've ever been. Whoa, I don't mind it, do my skin. Whoa, my desire, you're my everything. Whoa, I don't. I've been taken, praying for. Waiting for my praying oh, I don't. I've been taken for my due.
All right, bro. I was waiting. I know that we didn't get this on camera, but we were talking briefly about this a little bit beforehand. But DD told me that there was a portion where he had a voice crack, and I was just waiting for that to happen, and I heard it. And, it made me laugh. But also, I'm gonna let you lead this one. But I just want to mention one other thing I thought was pretty funny. I think you were making the lip roll bass, or it was either a kick, a very powerful kick, or lip roll bass, but it was literally shooting your fucking bangs up, bro. It was like so much air being like shot upwards. Anyway, you lead this, bro. Tell us some more about it.
I mean, yeah, the hair thing is a thing that happens every live event as well. I claim it, you know. No, but I don't know. With this, the second round, it's called Higher. I say round, the second routine, I did that on against Wand at GBB.
That was going to be a question I was going to have, actually. Did you actually use these routines on the stage? Yeah.
So they cut out at the beginning. The beginning, I said, all right, GBB didn't go very well. These are what the routines were supposed to sound like. They cut that bit out, understandably. But Yeah. So the second round, higher, I did that against Wand. It didn't on stage. In that moment, it didn't come out anywhere near this well. I sped up, nerves got to me, and both rounds that I did weren't up to standard for me. However, I did really still feel like these were good routines, so I didn't want to just scrap them. I didn't want to, give up with them. So this was recorded after GBB, obviously. After the battle, second day, I think, and under 18 battles were first day. So, just in terms of the routines themselves, the first routine I would have done in the semi-final if I'd have got there. But now looking back, and from what I've learned from GBB, I wouldn't do that one ever on stage ever again. And I think just in general, these routines I like, but there is a lot I would change now. The second routine, higher, I did that in the final at UK Champs, and I won. So that shows that the execution of my routine at GBB wasn't good, but it doesn't mean the routine wasn't, which proved to me, and that made me feel a bit better about it. But yeah, I always try and mix technical and musical, and I think I did that. So
Yeah, so the way that I see these, it had a lot going on, obviously. There's a lot of like structural changes, a lot of like different kind of sounds being used there. I think like, yeah, the biggest standout for me is definitely the way that you structured it. You had used a lot of different sounds. Like when I hear this, the first thing I would want to say is to like maybe like the way that I like beatboxing, at least like in this kind of aspect, in this kind of like style. I feel like less is sometimes more, but the way that you did it, like you said, you do have a very good sense of like creating music, and I can definitely tell that with like the way that you kind of like created these tracks here.
Thank you.
It just worked out, like honestly, and I can only imagine. Like I know like nerves are definitely a thing. It'd be very interesting to see how that second round in particular played out against your battle against Wand, because I really liked that one. I liked it more so than your first round. I liked your first. I'm saying rounds now too.
Yeah.
First routine. The second one I enjoyed a little bit more, simply because it's the second half. You kind of like really leaned into that kind of style that I really love of the solo beatbox scene. Also, like the variations of the bass that you're doing, like super, super killer. There's one part in particular. I don't know what kind of like variation of bass you use, but it just hit really, really hard. And it like really set the kind of like tone and standard of the later portion of that second routine. So I thought like overall it was very, very solid. Again, it's a different beast, right? It's a different beast when you're doing this on stage compared to like in a more relaxed environment. So like I feel like your vision was probably a lot better, executed a lot better here compared to the stage.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, it is a learning experience, and yeah, for the most part, I've really enjoyed what I heard from you here. Also, I don't know if you're too aware, but like when I was doing my predictions actually for the Grand Beatbox battle, for like all the categories, when we're talking about under 18, I actually had you going all the way to the final and winning the event. Yeah, I know that didn't end up happening, but yeah, I just thought like you kind of had what it takes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
I mean, I had a lot of. I mean, I say this. I bet all of the participants had a lot of people tell them that. But like, Hartzell was on a live stream and he said, "DEITY will go final."
Yeah.
Things like that. Like, I didn't do what I wanted to do, and I do get worried sometimes that I missed that one opportunity I had. But I can kind of subside that by saying like the fact that I was even there, the fact that I got there, that's the biggest achievement. And as much as I wouldn't really want, as much as the battle I had doesn't represent me as a beatboxer anymore, I can use that, and I can almost say like, well, if it wasn't for that battle, I wouldn't be anywhere near as good as I am now. Not to say I'm like really good. Just I'm a lot better now. And I even said this at the event. I was saying it to people. I was like, the second I came off that stage, in my battle, the second it was done, the second I come off stage, I thought immediately, I'm so much better now than I was 3 seconds ago on stage, because that, like, just the whole dynamic, the way the crowd responded, and then of course later on seeing everyone perform, it's indescribable how much you can learn from a GBB event. And if you're able to go, I would say absolutely. This isn't just you. This is anyone watching. If you're able to go, you will come out of it a million times better than you currently are. And it doesn't matter how good you are now. And that's what I'm grateful for with this experience. That, yeah, that's it really.
Yeah, I think like what you're saying is absolutely true. Like someone who, like myself, who hasn't like competed before, but just being at an event of this kind of caliber, it's different, right? There's different things that you don't really take into consideration, especially if you haven't been to one before. You know, just starting off alone with like the energy and the vibe of the venue, right? Certain like audiences react differently to what you do. Apparently, like, you know, for example, the German crowd is a lot more vocal. I wouldn't say vocal, actually, like a lot more physical, not in a sense where like they're going to like beat you up. They're just like, they move a lot more. They react more to the music, right? Well, in comparison to something like the Japanese crowd are very vocal, but they don't move a lot, right? They don't physically react to stuff a lot. So just like little things like that you have to take into consideration. And I can only imagine like the kind of like how many things you don't really take into consideration when you're competing at an event like this and when you're actually up there on stage, right? And yeah, like you said, I can imagine like having that experience, going through it, then immediately coming out like you're awoken almost in a sense, right? Like, oh, this is what
Absolutely.
it is. This is what it is. This is what it means to be, right? So yeah, I understand that. Like, 100% get that, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, you nail on the head, literally. Like just the training for this event as well. Like I was doing so much, and this is the part where I start to work. Like I start to get a little down about my performance. It's because the amount of training and money that went into being there.
Yeah.
It gets controversial with the money. We don't talk about it. But the amount of money and dedication I put into this event, as anyone would, and as I should have, understandably, completely, I would say that was the one thing that was like, I come out of it, all this money spent, all of this passion and dedication that went into it. And it's like, I don't want to watch back my performance. That's how I feel about it. So as much as that is unfortunate, I think I was the only under 18 battle that had a split decision. I got 3-2 voted. So, and I think everyone else was 5-0.
Wow.
Which doesn't necessarily mean anything, because on a 5-0, all of the judges could have been like 49% this one, 51% this one.
Yeah.
But mine played out in a split decision, and that's sort of the only thing that gives me confidence at the minute. But with that performance, yeah, I think I'm going to do a whole analysis on that video when it comes out, that battle, because I need to sort of, you know, explain for everything that went wrong. But yeah, here they're executed well enough for me to be like, yeah, this is all right. And since this experience, GBB in general, my routines have changed a lot. They're a lot more simple. You said that simplicity is like sometimes like less is more sometimes. I completely agree. And these routines are too much for me. I listen back to these and I'm like, especially the first one, way too much. But I suppose I keep them. I'm not going to change them because they feel like I made that in that time when I had this mentality towards beatboxing. And now I have a different mentality. I have a different style almost. So I make new routines. I have 31 routines right now.
Wow, what? That's just a lot, bro.
Yeah, I know. I'm a bit mad with it. Yeah. I've always got ideas flowing, and I take songs a lot as well that I've written and I turn them into beatbox routines. So, yeah, that's it really.
Yeah. I had something in mind I wanted to say, but I completely forgot. So I guess we'll just leave it there.
Oh no, sorry.
No, it's not your fault. It is what it is. Natural flow of the conversation. I don't want to interrupt you anyway. So, yeah. All right. So that's it for that video. Oh yeah, I remember now. Actually, you're saying you're going to analyze your stuff. I was just going to say like, right now the solo is finishing up here, so we'll be getting. It's already confirmed that the producer category is going to be coming out afterwards. So that leaves the cruise and the under 18 that remain. So I'm not sure exactly when the under 18 is going to come out. It could be second last. It could be last. I don't know if you know any inside information about that. Do you?
I didn't even know the producers were next.
Yeah. It was after the Loop Station category. I think it was Sinjo. Somebody on the live stream said that the next two in line is going to be the solo category followed by the producer. So that leaves Cruise and under 18 afterwards. So whether or not Cruise is last or second last or vice versa for under 18, I don't really know. So you could be waiting a little bit for that analysis, or it could be sooner rather than later, if that makes sense.
Okay. Well, whenever it comes out, I sort of want it to come out as late as possible. No, whenever it comes out, I'll have to do an analysis. I'll force myself to watch it. But I mean, in terms of insight, this might be helpful to some people. Because I know a lot of people were disappointed this year. There were no under 18 category. This isn't true necessarily, but it's what I picked up, and it's what I think is the reason why there is no under 18 category. I think it's because and this is understandable, the hassle and the management that it took, and the money that it took to get both the Guardian and the under 18 to a different country, or just organize them in general, because obviously events have age limits, so we couldn't be in the venue unless there was a Guardian present, and that rule wasn't followed thoroughly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's things like that where I can understand why they haven't got the category this year, because it's a whole other level of management and organization. Whereas if you're just a solo beatboxer or you're a tag team, you're both adults. You don't have to worry about any sort of legal things, in terms of like age. So, I would say for anyone that's like concerned that there'll never be an under 18 category again, there will be, I think. But for this year, I think they're recovering from last year and the hardships that it brought. Yeah.
Is there an age limit for solo?
18, I believe.
Okay.
You have to be over 18.
Yeah, that would make sense, and that's why they introduced it.
Because Julard's in it this year. Julard's in solo this year.
I do remember though in 2017 when Hiss competed, I think he was 16, so that must have been something they added along the lines, like very recently, like the hard age limit. It could have been from last year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because Hiss was 16 when he battled Napalm in 2017. That was actually the event that I was there live for, so I remember that one very clearly. But yeah, he was under 18 then, so
okay,
it must have been something.
That
recent.
might have changed with GBB getting more popular,
right?
Because as it gets more popular, they have to focus more on management, and then thus put more money into it. So it might have been like that. It's just at the time it wasn't as professional as it is now.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. It did blow up like 2018 era. That's when
Codfish,
yeah.
D-Lo.
I actually think after 2017, because 2017 still has the biggest videos. I think that was probably the biggest thing for change. But yeah, of course 2018 D-Lo, 2019 D-Lo winning. But yeah, anyway, we're getting a little off topic here. So
yeah,
yeah, that was a awesome showing here from DEITY. Again, you could be looking forward to his analysis, whether that's going to be sooner rather than later. It will eventually come. I'd be personally interested to see that. So yeah, if you guys want to, see that, keep a lookout for that. But if you guys enjoyed what you heard here in this video, Be sure to leave it a like. Link is in the description like always. Go check out Beatbox Germany as well. Links in the description to their channel. Go leave them a sub. You want to support me though, leave a like on this video. You can sub to my channel. Check out my Discord channel as well. Links in the description to that. And DEITY.
DEITY_tracks on Instagram. All caps DE!TY on streaming platforms. And if you want to see that analysis when it does come out, it's all caps DEITY music on YouTube.
All right, and other than that, we'll see you in the next Beatbox reaction video.